Hello, sweet summer children. I asked you guys to leave me your questions, and y'all delivered some pretty good questions. So I said I would answer some in a video. This is that video. I try to respond to as many comments as I can, like as many comments as humanly possible, but I am only one human. Also, there will be a giveaway announcement at the end of this video, so stay tuned until the end. The first question is from Sandra X, and she says, "Hi Gray, this is a long shot, but could Varys be a lost Blackfyre? That would explain the sorcerer's blood sacrificed by fire of Varys' parts, like Melisandre did to Gendry, because he has king's blood. Could that be the reason he shaves his head to hide his hair color? I know it's not a new theory, but I want to know your thoughts." Varys could very well be a Blackfyre Targaryen. I kind of see what you're saying with the king's blood sacrifice. It's also interesting that Varys and Illyrio are the ones that are conspiring to put young Griff on the Iron Throne. The fact that Varys shaves his head is also a parallel with Aegon the Unlikely, Egg from the Tales of Dunk and Egg. Egg shaves his head so he can move through the Seven Kingdoms with Sir Dunk and not be identified as a Targaryen. There's also an interesting quote from Mokoro, the Black Flame. "Someone told me that the night is dark and full of terrors. What do you see in those flames?" "Dragons," Mokoro said in the common tongue of Westeros. He spoke it very well, with hardly a trace of an accent. No doubt that was one reason the High Priest Benero had chosen him to bring the faith of R'hllor to Daenerys Targaryen. "Dragons old and young, true and false, bright and dark, and you, a small man with a big shadow, snarling in the midst of all." So Tyrion has been in the midst, or will be in the midst, of all of these dragons. And so far, he's been around Illyrio, Varys, Aegon, Jon, and as of yet, at this point in the books, he has not been around Daenerys. So I think old, false, and dark definitely represents a Blackfyre Targaryen on the board playing the Game of Thrones. The Blackfyre sigil is dark. It's black. It's the black three-headed dragon on a red field. And the Blackfyres are false Targaryens. I also think young, bright, and true definitely stands for the bright red, true dragon on the Targaryen banner of young Daenerys Targaryen and Jon Snow. But what stands out even more and kind of points to Varys being a Blackfyre Targaryen is this. After Mokoro tells Tyrion about the dragons, he then says, "And you, a small man with a big shadow." Now, that might not seem like anything to some people, but it's a direct connection to Varys. Varys tells Tyrion this.
"It's a trick, a shadow on the wall. And a very small man can cast a very large shadow."
So is Varys a Blackfyre Targaryen? I don't know, but I do think the conversation Daenerys had with Varys during season 7, episode 2, Stormborn, was some kind of foreshadowing.
Look me in the eye as you have done today, and you'll tell me how I'm failing me.
I swear it, my queen.
And I swear this. If you ever betray me, I'll burn you alive.
Also, Varys was afraid of Kinvara. So Kinvara may have her eye on Varys.
We serve the same queen. If you are her true friend, you have nothing to fear from me.
And Melisandre probably has her eye on Varys as well.
Oh, I will return, dear Spider. One last time.
My lady.
I have to die in this strange country. Just like you.
I think it's pretty much confirmed that Varys will die in Westeros. If he is indeed a Blackfyre with Targaryen king's blood, then he may be burned alive by the Red Priest of R'hllor. I think he may betray Dany, and basically now that Jon's name is Aegon, Varys may conspire to sit him on the Iron Throne. Because, let's be honest, he is not fond of Daenerys Targaryen's ways, and the Mad King is all too familiar to the Spider.
Daenerys is not her father.
And she never will be. With the right counsel. You need to find a way to make her listen.
I got 2 questions about Bronn. The first one is from Doc Robinson. Do you think Bronn is on the road north ahead of Jaime, or is he trailing behind him, or will Cersei give him command of her forces along with all he's been promised and more? And then Juan Fortes asked kind of the same thing, and he said that Bran is his favorite character. Do you think he will get his castle if he survives the wars to come? If so, what castle? He thinks it might be Casterly Rock. So I'm just going to answer both of these questions together. So I don't think Bran would ever follow Cersei. In the books, she's tried to have Bran killed and she basically botched it, and Bran knows about it. Bran openly defies Cersei by naming his wife's bastard son, Lawless's son, Tyrion. So I think we can rule Cersei out as aligning with Bran. Plus, on the filming side of things, Jerome Flynn, the actor that plays Bran, and Lena Headey, the actress that plays Cersei, they dated in real life, and I think shit went down and they had a bad breakup and they basically hate each other. You know why you never see them in a scene together? Because they both have stipulations in their contracts that forbid them from being in the same room together. I wonder what happened for it to end like that though. So what I think is going to happen is quite simple. Bran will roll with Tyrion or Jaime. He is definitely going to follow Jaime out of King's Landing. Look, Bran ran into Dragonfire to save Jaime to get his castle. He's not going to let Jaime slip away. He will be on his heels real soon or pop up in Winterfell with Tyrion. Either way, we haven't seen the last of him. As far as the castle goes, I do think he will get a castle. He has a castle right now in the books. Right now in the books, he has Stokeworth, and he's the Lord of Stokeworth, and he's married to Lawless. Let's say things end up well for Jon and Dany, just hypothetically. I don't see Bran getting Casterly Rock. I totally see Tyrion taking control of the rock. It won't be Dragonstone either. It won't be Storm's End. It could be Sunspear, but I doubt it. I would love to see Bran go to Sunspear and get the Dornishman's wife and castle, but I don't see that happening, unless he marries one of Oberyn's daughters. But he's already married to Lawless, so that wouldn't make much sense. But nothing makes sense in Dorne, you know? So maybe Harrenhal. Littlefinger is dead and he was Lord of Harrenhal. Maybe Highgarden, because Aegon the Conqueror did kind of give Highgarden to basically servants of House Gardner. So it could be like a history repeating itself thing, and he might get Highgarden. He actually said that he wanted Highgarden last season, so that could totally happen.
That's a lot of money I just gave you.
It's not a castle. How about that one? It's available.
You don't want Highgarden.
I beg to differ.
I could totally also see the Dreadfort going to Bran like nobody else will want it, but we shall see. So the next question is from Dream Big, and he asked, what would be your reaction if humans and White Walkers made an alliance by marriage? I don't expect that to happen, although if it did, I actually wouldn't be surprised, because in the very first chapter in Game of Thrones, we have this quote. He remembered the hearth tales old Nan told them. The wildlings were cruel men, she said, slavers and slayers and thieves. They consorted with giants and ghouls, stole girl children in the dead of the night, and drank blood from polished horns. And their women lay with others in the long night to sire terrible half-human children. We have old Nan's hearth tales stating that the White Walkers did breed with humans, if old Nan is to be believed. So I kind of wouldn't be surprised, because I kind of believe old Nan. The next question is from David Harrison, and it says, have you considered that Sansa will die, but Beric will give Sansa the last kiss? I base this on Tormund's conversation with the Hound. Gingers are kissed by fire. So I actually have considered it. However, Dan and Dave said they aren't doing Lady Stoneheart. So I don't think they're going to skip over Lady Stoneheart and still do a rendition of Lady Stoneheart. What I think they did is this. So Lady Stoneheart is a vengeful character, a stone-hearted person, a cold-hearted person that's out for vengeance and retribution. But I feel like that vengeance Stoneheart role was given to Arya last year. I would love for that to happen, but I don't see it happening. Honestly, I don't even know why Beric is still alive. He's been dead about 2 books ago, so he must be around to give someone the kiss of life, or Dawn. That's all I can think of, really, Dawn or the kiss of life, so he must gonna give the kiss of life to someone. We'll see who it's gonna be. It might be Daenerys. So I also got asked this question in multiple different ways. So Akash Rajaran said, what are the chances the Night King has a very, very sad and painful story? And Ariel Rios, she kind of asked the same thing. My question is, do you think we will get more background on the Night King in order to defeat him? And if so, do you think we'll find out maybe he's not as bad as we think? I know George R.R. Martin said no one is truly good or evil. I absolutely 100% think we are going to get a lot of backstory on the Night King. I mean, I feel like once we kind of know his identity, then that answers a lot of questions right there. But I do feel like we will get more backstory. I feel like most of what Bran and Sam will be doing will be solely tied to the Night King. All of their flashbacks and research will be solely tied to the Night King and the White Walkers. About him having a sad story. So the option is of course there for the Night King to have a sad story. We saw how he was changed. He was a captive and dragonglass was shoved into his heart. He was not a willing participant. And from what we know, the children of the forest created him to help against the first men, and then they used him and not only discarded him when they were finished using him, they joined the people they created him to defeat and help them defeat him. And then they sentenced him to a life of ice cold misery. To be honest, if you had to be sentenced to a life in an ice cell with no company but dead people and Craster's offspring, I think you'd be a little pissy too. So yeah, it may be a sad story. It really might. So the last question is asked from two different people. It's kind of the same thing. It's about Jon, Dany, and their survival. So Timothy Hodges asked, do you think Jon, Aegon, Dany, and their baby will survive? I think one Stark's sister will have to raise Jon's baby. I hope it's Arya. I don't think Arya should be babysitting nobody's kids. and then Judgmental Budgie asked, what are in your opinion the chances of both Jon and Dany dying in the very end? And in case it happens, what would need to happen for the ending to still be considered as bittersweet instead of tragic? So I don't think Dany nor Jon will die. I will actually be very shocked if they both die. Like literally jaw on the floor, because I've read the book so many times and their arcs just to me doesn't seem to be going that route. I feel like they've both been through a lot. Like they've been through so much and they are very much scarred, and I think their story is to come to each other and kind of heal each other, like both of them. I actually fear for their child though, because the blood of that baby is going to be so powerful. 75% blood of the dragon, 25% Stark, some Blackwood and Dane blood up in there too. On top of that, the baby's daddy is basically a fire white, and the baby's mama is basically a dragon lord fire sorceress. I mean, could you imagine the sacrifice a baby like that could bring? So I'm more worried about the baby more than anything. I'm not worried about Jon and Dany. They will make it. If they die, they will be brought back. I don't see them dying though, but that's just my opinion. I feel like if they die and everyone else lived, it's not bittersweet. Like that's kind of a joke. It's tragic. I feel like bittersweet is getting what you wanted but realizing you don't want it anymore, or the magic dying off, or like the scouring of the Shire in Lord of the Rings, but everyone survives. Those are bittersweet things. So Jon and Dany dying is a tragedy in my opinion, and I don't know how they could make that bittersweet unless they showed them in heaven or something. I don't know. So these are all the questions I have time for today. I'll do this again soon. This was fun. Thank you for all your questions. Now, let's talk about the giveaway. So this is my 50,000 subscriber giveaway, which is insane. And I just want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for all of your support. Watching my videos, liking my videos, sharing them, commenting and interacting with me. It's awesome, and it's a really good feeling knowing that people can relate to you and who you are aside from the material, because before you guys, I just thought I was weird. Now, enough with the mushy. Let's talk about the giveaway. So I will be running 4 giveaways at once. One on Twitter, one on Instagram, one on Patreon, and the big one, this one on my channel. So one lucky winner will win Game of Thrones Season 7 on DVD, 4 Dorbs figurines, Jon Snow, Melisandre, Cersei, and Jaime. a free Ghost Direwolf t-shirt, a poster of a map of Westeros, a Targaryen tournament banner, and a Straight Outta Winterfell decal. Basically a collector's starter kit. So to win, all you need to do is be a subscriber, give this video a thumbs up, and leave a comment on this video. This giveaway is open worldwide, and you can check out Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon to see what giveaways I'll be doing over there. I'll leave the giveaway details in the description box. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks to everyone that supports me on Patreon. If you like this video and videos like this, please give it a thumbs up, click that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell and join the Sweet Summer family. Okay, my sweet summer children, have a good day.